Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see, I have switched scenery one more time. I left my parents' house during the weekend, so I am now back home, and as you can see, I have a new kind of background. If you watched my Target vlog, you'll see that I picked up some new wallpaper, and that is what is going on with this situation back here. I'm kind of curious, do you guys like this new background? What do you think? Leave me a comment down below so that way I kind of know. I'm kind of digging it, but you know, it's all about how you guys like the video. But moving on to today's topic, I'm going to be testing out two new items. They are new to me. They, I think, launched maybe 2 to 3 months ago, but that is the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted Scented Eyeshadow Peach, along with one of the blushes from that collection. Let's just jump right into it. I think I'm gonna get started with I want to say the blush first. I picked up one of their blushes. I do believe they have 2 of them. Let me find out. Okay, so looking online right now, I can see that there is actually 4 blushes that came with this collection. There is Fantastical, Just Curious, Charming, and Bashful, which Bashful is the one I have right here. I'll do a quick little swatch. Wow, this is such a gorgeous color. It has a very pink tone to it, and yet it is so shimmery. It's almost like a highlighter. I am just gonna take my Sonia Kashuk brush and just kind of lightly dip into it. I'm not a huge fan of blush. If you have been subscribed to my channel, you know that. I tend to go for the much lighter blushes because I feel like the very bright ones make me look very pink. I'm also gonna give you guys Amazon prices to compare to. I think Amazon has the best prices of these. If you find them at Rite Aid and CVS or any stores like that, they are a little bit pricier just because of that. But on Amazon, it is $10.99 for one of the blushes. That is a really beautiful flush of color to the cheeks. I'm actually really digging the color of it. I don't know why I keep saying digging. But just one thing to be aware of is that this is a very shimmery blush. So if you're not a fan of the ultra shimmery in blushes, that's just something to know about this one. I personally don't mind it. I think it looks really pretty. I'm just glowy all over. I think that's a perfect kind of summertime blush. Let us move on now to the eyeshadow. This is the Paradise Enchanted Fruit Scented Eyeshadow. And this palette does retail for $11.97, so it's honestly not that bad. That is, of course, Amazon price. And I know what most people are probably thinking is it very similar to the peach palettes of the Too Faced ones, because that's kind of what you think of when you think of peach scented. They have their entire peach line, but honestly I do think there is a lot of differences between the palettes. Yes, it is peach tone, but I don't think they tried to dupe it, which I can really appreciate that they didn't just try to do like a straight copy. They tried to put their own spin on a peach palette, so I'm liking this. I'm thinking I'm gonna start off with some swatches. I'm gonna swatch them all out first and then show you guys. Okay, so here we have the entire palette swatched out, and I have to say, I was not crazy about the first 5 shades. They really weren't picking up, and they were really kind of chalky and powdery. A lot of them feel very powdery, but the last 7 shades really did swatch beautifully. Those look really intensely pigmented, but of course, swatches do not tell the whole tale, so let's jump into making a look. I went ahead and zoomed you guys a little bit closer because we are gonna start making a look right now. I did already prime my eyelids. I have my favorite. It is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Say It With Me Now, Eden. I do kind of have an idea of the look I want to go for, so I'm gonna start with this pink shade right up here. That is number 4. Definitely powdery when you dip into it. Oh my god, I didn't even sniff it! This smells amazing. It doesn't have an overly artificial kind of scent to it where you're just kind of thinking like, that doesn't even smell like peach. It has like a peach hint to it, and it just smells so incredibly sweet. As I was swirling around my brush is actually how I remembered it, because I was just smelling that beautiful fragrance, which, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, I'm all over. I do still smell that sweetness of the kind of peach hint, but it is definitely a lot less than the palette itself. Man, I am so sorry I forgot to tell you guys about the scent. My mind must have just been elsewhere. Anyway, back to creating a look. Let's do the shade number 4. As per usual, I'm taking my favorite brush to start out with. This is the Wet n Wild crease brush. Just gonna start working this pink shade into the crease. Okay, that shade is applied, and the swatch, of course, it felt very powdery, and I wasn't really sure how it was gonna work, how it was gonna blend. That color turned out really beautiful. I'm loving it. Next shade I think I'm gonna dip into is this one right here, which is number 8. It reminds me a whole lot of the shade Burnt Orange by ABH. Ooh, that's some powder though. So what I want to do with this shade is kind of take it in the outer V and slightly below where we put that little pink shade. I want to keep the pink, but I do want to add a little bit more definition since it was so baby pink. I wish there was another deeper, darker pink in there. I know there is another one, but that one is all shimmery. So I just wish they had another matte, darker pink. Since I want to get a feel for the majority of the shadows, I know I won't be able to fit every shadow on there, but I want to try to get as many as I can. I'm going to go in the dish shade right here, which is number 9. Now I'm just going to be taking that shade on my Defined Crease Brush by Makeup Geek, and I'm kind of stippling it right here in the outer V area. Just really working this outer corner. I think I'm just going to try to like press it into where my like crease sits, just to define this little edge a little bit more. I don't want to bring it in too far, just want to give it a little extra definition out here. Just keeping the brush very tight where I'm working this eyeshadow out. I'm also taking it on the lower lash line, but only keeping it in this like 1/3 on the outer side. Keeping it very close to the lash line there. I want to do a little bit more detail work. I'm going to go in with this shade right down here, which is number 11. Just deepen things up just a tiniest bit more, just because I want to see what this one can do. Now for this shade, I'm not going to do what I did with, what shade was that? Number 9? Previous one, I'm not going to take it all over. I'm going to keep it very close to the upper lash line, kind of defining it right there close to the outer V corner, dragging it up just the tiniest amount, and then a little bit on the lower lash line as well. Now I'm thinking we need an all over the lid shade, so let's do, I want to go in with this peachy pink shimmer right here. I am going to give it a little spritz just to help it out. I do that even with my high-end shadows, so why not help out the drugstore ones as well? Wow. Packing on quite a bit of color with that. Such a gorgeous shade. Oh man. I'm gonna take this shade right up here, which is number 3. It's another shimmer shade, and I'm just gonna kind of layer it on top of this peachy pink one. It was so vibrant. Kind of want to mellow it out a little bit, if I'm being honest. Just add a little pinky shimmery shade on top. Beautiful combination right there. Then let's do a little bit of inner corner highlight. Let's take the Makeup Geek pencil brush. I almost said, what am I saying right now? Jeez. Makeup Geek pencil brush. Okay, so we are then gonna take, I mean, I should probably do the one I layered on top, just it was a really bold inner corner highlight. Let's do that. So it's very cohesive. Just pack that on right in the inner corner. I think because why the heck not, let's go in with a little bit of this white shade as well. Do that as the brow highlight. Just see what it can do. Okay, I see it, I see it. Alright, that was the last step for the eyeshadow look. I am gonna pop on a little bit of mascara. This is by, I think this is L'Oreal as well, the Voluminous Superstar X Fiber. This is also L'Oreal. Yes, it is. And I'm going to pop on a little bit of, you know, lashes. I'm not going to do any kind of liner. I think I want to keep it kind of clean and simple today. So I'm going to do that really quickly and I'll be right back. And I am also going to zoom out so I can give you guys my final thoughts. So the look is finally completed. I popped on the mascara, lashes, zoomed you guys out just like I talked about. I don't know what that was. But anyway, so these two products right here, I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts about. First question I have for you guys though is, when I'm doing a eyeshadow palette review, do you guys want to see a wear test, like where I do check-ins at the end of the night, or do you not really care about that and you'd rather just see the application and how it performs? Leave me a comment with that down below so that way I know how to do future palette reviews. But for this one right now, I am going to be leaving it at my final thoughts, so that's just something to think about. So jumping right into my thoughts about these, I'm going to talk about the palette first. This palette is so unbelievably beautiful. I was not prepared for how magical the eyeshadows were going to look on the lids. They did take a little bit of building for some of the lighter shades, but once you were able to pack on that eyeshadow, the shadows just all really came together. It just looks so stunning. I am so in love with the way my makeup look turned out right now. I was kind of thinking like, okay, you know, it's gonna be drugstore eyeshadow. It's always a 50-50 shot, and I have not tested a L'Oreal eyeshadow palette before. This is actually my first, and I'm so happy it was because this was amazing. The blendability, the pigmentation, everything was really on point. The only thing to kind of keep in mind is, of course, the fallout situation I kept showing you guys. It rains when you are dipping into the shadow itself and you're like swirling around your brush. I mean, it's just gonna go everywhere. So you do have to be kind of careful to always tap off your brush, because if you forget and you're swirling it around really heavily and then you're going to go in and try to work it out on the lid, you're going to have Fallout City underneath your eyes. So that's the only thing to really know about it. But for $11.97, this is a steal. I freaking love this. But then we have the blush. Now, you know me. I am not really one to love a blush. I'm kind of like meh about it. That's just my personal preference. I tend to be very pink in the face, so blushes I tend to stay away from, just, you know, just because I don't want to look any redder than I actually am. But this blush is so beautiful, so I'm actually really enjoying it. I keep looking in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? That looks good. That looks good. I like it. My only thing that I'm kind of questioning is the brush is $10.99, the palette is $11.97. Why is the blush almost the same price as the entire palette? That is my only thing about it. You know, I wish the blush would have been a little bit cheaper. I would have picked up a few more if it was. But that is where I'm gonna wrap up this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my review on the L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted collection. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell button so you will be notified every time I post. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!